spend that time walk at an inopportune time and then burst him down straight afterwards. Maybe a Pugner could come out here, but I don't know.
PSG.LGD.
Oh,
Yeah, Wraith King's great.
that's the thing, right? Like, you got to take him out 2 times, and the Chrono does nothing if he hasn't died once. Nice pickup from Aster. It still kind of doesn't work, though, if you think of it. Like, if you do go the Diffusal Blade with the Void, you just drain the mana prior to that level 20 mark, the Wraith King still dies anyway.
10 seconds remaining.
So I guess there is that for PSG.LGD, but Wraith King does feel pretty nice regardless.
He does indeed. He can push. He has good presence in team fights, and yeah, like you said, he's so sustainable. So most of the time, you're going to be getting off this 2 lives. Just that extra added pushing power with the Shadow Shaman. You can do things like, as long as you've cleared the relevant areas, drop your skeletons, TP to the other side of the map, just leave the Shadow Shaman down there, and it's not a super heavy commitment from one of your cores.
Then again, though, you do also have the Nyx Assassin with its own mana drain, so there is quite a lot of it there. Might have to be a little bit careful about his mana pool here for the Wraith King. This could be a little bit dangerous. Well, LGD, 4th pick now. They do finally make it, and it is gonna be the Somnus Void Spirit, and this makes me very excited. He really does perform very well on this.
And it just keeps making its way through. One of the benefits of being those heroes that teams rate is probably like in the top 10, but not in everyone's top 5. And so it makes its way through the draft nearly every single time. And we can see it's one of those heroes that honestly, both being good, and it's just so fun to play. You can tell that they're having an absolute blast, these Void Spirit players.
Yeah, not very fun to play against, though, I must say. I think this hero needs some nerfs, Danog. Do you think it needs some nerfs? I believe it does.
I think it needs a HP nerf so that when you do catch him out, it's more likely that you're going to kill him.
Okay.
There's too much in the form of escape when you've got your spells on cooldown, especially. Like, you shouldn't be able to survive for more than a couple of seconds tops.
And buff Earth Spirit, right? Like, just
Yeah.
casually. Yep, perfect. Okay.
And buff Spirit Breakers so that they can break all of them, so...
5 seconds
I don't mind. I play POS 4. I'll take it.
Mhm.
LGD.
PSG.
Ban out the Kunkka.
LGD's turn to pick.
I guess that's one of the nicer counters towards that Void Spirit and the Faceless Void, so that's been removed now. And LGD, one final pick. They are still lacking that old 11 offlane hero, and we had a fantastic game last game around on the Tidehunter. They don't need a Ravage when they've got Chrono, but what else could you see coming out?
Remaining.
I can see a Prophet, Nature's Prophet.
Team pick.
Oh,
Oh, Lord, alright. Yeah, some tanky heroes right now on Aster, so that percentage-based damage is going to do a lot.
I like it. Probably the most boring offlane hero to play in Dota 2's existence, but it is very effective in what it does. That's for sure. Aster
10
now.
seconds remaining.
Their final pickup. They don't think about it too much. They go into the T8. They want
Select your hero.
to. It appears they want to try and set a pace with this TA and keep up with Somnus. Overall, drafts are completed, Danog. I'm gonna go on a whim and say LGD's looks better to me. What are you thinking here with these drafts?
I agree, just because of how they've been playing as a team lately for them as to how they're going to win. They need a lot to go right in these team fights for them to take out the win, getting great chronos, combining it together with a Phoenix Egg. If you can get a Firestorm out during a chrono, it's fantastic. You often don't get the luxury of that sort of thing, but man, the way they're playing together in recent times leads me to think that it's probably going to happen.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, Aster, they need to pull off this victory to force to a game 3. We'll see if they can do it very, very soon, as we are about to go into this game number 2. LGD looking so strong. And I know the league's just started, but they are currently undefeated, so haven't dropped a game yet.
Wonder where they're going to go in terms of their item builds on LGD. There's a ton of physical damage right now on Aster, so Could we see a greedy radiance come out from Somnus to be able to, both affect the refraction as well as get that blind effect? Could we see an AC come out from any of these heroes? Could we see the Crimson Guard from the Underlord? Who knows?
You wouldn't mind seeing the Crimson, right? From Old 11? Like, it's already fairly standard for him to just pick that up and maybe have Vladimir's. Maybe you just go for the Underlord auras instead. But then again, Somnus farms so quick. Like, you may as well just say, Somnus, when you get a chance, just go grab a Radiance. Just when you've got 5 minutes to spare.
Just, quick venture down the shops. Go grab a Radiance. Only 2% fat, please, and it'll be good.
It would be indeed. Game 2 has now begun. Aster need to win this matchup to pull off this series victory. LGD more than happy to take this 2-0 if they can.
Why do I keep doing this to myself? I make myself hungry by talking about food.
Welcome to my life, Danog. We always used to make that same mistake when we were casting. We're already starving as it was, and then we just start talking about food during a pause or something, and it made everything worse.
We're still doing it.
We are still doing it. What are you feeling like right now, Danog? If you could pick any food in the world right now, what would you want?
Parma.
Well, we call it a palmy in New South Wales.
Well, you're wrong, alright?
No. Parma just doesn't sound Australian. Palmy sounds much more Australian.
The place, it's literally Parma ham that you put on it. That's why you call it a Parma.
30 seconds to battle.
Alright. You Melbourners with your education and things like that always have something to say.
Our no Ruby Princess cruise ships and all that fun stuff.
Oh, all right. Well, looks like LGD. They're going to start posturing around the top bounty runes, and Baboka going to be able to snag one away from the side of LGD, and Aster should be able to start themselves with a 3 bounty rune advantage, and they will. Nice little gold lead for them.
Yeah, nice start for them. Avoid's never really going to do all too much around those to contest. You could just see he was playing super passively. And LGD, they've gone... Can we call this greedy? I think we can. X-Nova, the position 5 Phoenix, so not one of those ones that is going to be getting a bit more farm than others.
It is greedy for sure. I'm going to say this is probably one of the only regions where you do see the POS 5 Phoenix come out. I've seen it a couple times, but it really only does happen in China. In most other regions, it's always the POS 4. And we'll see how well they make it work. It is greedy. That I can't deny that. Fade and XXS seem like they should be able to really take some lane advantage out of this.
It's greedy in the terms of experience, but as we were talking about in the pre-draft, you don't need that many items to have a high level of impact. It's just getting to that level 6, or even just to level 3 to have a significant impact in this lane.
I'm just having a quick look at the mid lane now as well, maybe. Falling a little bit low on that Void Spirit. He does have a salve available. Chuan salving up a bit earlier on. I believe this is one of the matchups we actually saw yesterday, the Void Spirit versus TA. And last time we saw it, I believe the laning stage was very TA favored.
Oh, X-Nova, he's not having a great time. I wonder if he's stuck back in Malaysia, or if he's still in China playing all these. You would think China probably, right? Because of, firewall stuff?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, we're connected. I guess you never know.
Wait, there is a quick way to see. Let's do a quick ping check on you, X-Nova.
Ping him out.
He's sitting at 46, so that's probably China.
Okay, well that's good.
Well, you're 108, 408, sorry.
That's why I'm not playing in the China region. So 480 is quite high. Oh, Fade. Bot lane, maybe in trouble right now. Chalice, can he get a lucky bash? Not quite. He will stop chasing. It's going to be a big waste of time if he does. there are creeps to be had, and Chalice will go. Actually, he won't take them. He'll miss one. And, he'll miss the other one. Okay. I guess they were his own denies anyway. It doesn't matter. Still
Much
a very
more
hard
passive
lane
this time around.
Yeah, for sure. At least for now, anyway. But I think you do have to be more careful with your LGD, especially in this bot lane, right? Because it's just, how do you fight into a Mars Shaman?
With great difficulty. You know, you move forward, you're going to get zapped, you're going to get right-clicked with that insane base damage on Fade. Of course, XXS. He's gone for this build where he gets the Bulwark at level 3, so he could just stand up there and start to contest these CS with Chalice.
Chalice, time walks
Goes
forward. A lot of damage. I suppose with those fire spirits, you can choose to trade like that. And before we continue on about that bot lane, Dana, we should have a quick look at the top lane where S-Triple-C and Baboka are. Up against Old 11 on the Underlord, and of course he will have the support of FY on the Nyx Assassin. Should be somewhat of an even trade lane, but of course with the Underlord, it tends to be very hard to get some last hits in. And Old 11 has found himself at a nice little lead at 15 and 7.
Not even just that, the experience as well. He's about half a level ahead, which is always handy to have. A slightly larger creep wave pushing into them, so you would think it's going to push a bit closer towards the Radiant side of the map.
I had a brief look at mid lane again. Somnus forced to salve up for a second time. He's still leading in terms of last hits, but he's just having a difficult time up against this TA who's really harassing him out of the lane quite a lot. Power runes, gonna spawn up. They both race to the top rune. Nice little meld strike, Aether Remnant, and it's not even gonna be top. It's down bot. And Fade will take it. It's a double damage.
Wonder if he wants to try and commit with this. A double damage Shadow Shaman is nothing to sneeze at.
It is definitely not. So over 150 damage. My god. X-Nova gonna fly past.
He spotted him out. It's daytime.
Yeah. He won't be able to capitalize with this DD, I don't think. So he might just set up the bounty rune timing in 20 seconds or so. Although Courier, at least he finds Chalice's Courier though. So Courier for a Courier, not a bad trade.
This is true. Bounty rune's coming up in 10 seconds. Again, very standard. I mean, this is much more formulaic, it seems, this game of Dota. Whereas last time it was like, run at your face, see what happens.
It was good. It was good while it lasted. I guess once you hit those level 6 timings, though, we might see a bit more aggression coming up from both sides. Like, you've got a Chrono up, you've got an Arena up. You want to make use of those and put them on cooldown if you can. I highly doubt both teams will want to just sit there and just keep farming while those abilities are available.
XSS is having a great time on this bot side, denying a lot of the farm away from Chalice, just using the spear to reposition him. Hopefully this time he does pick up that neutral item when they become available, but we'll wait and see.
We will. We'll keep a close eye on it. Mid lane, there was an attempt onto the TA. FY, in fact, going to rotate around again. They're going to try one more time. Aether Remnant is available. Somnus, Astral Steps, and connects the Remnant in FY. Impale, he doesn't have the mana for it right now, but he doesn't need it. Somnus gets the kill. Still, he's in danger now. Cookie comes in, but Fade, can you finish the job off? Not quite. They'll find FY instead. Somnus, Aether Remnant, again, going to just latch onto Baboka. And he's going to have a nice Arcane Rune waiting for him down at the bot rune spot.
Man, the medic X-Nova was doing a great job there to make sure that they could survive that little bit longer. Even if the refraction was off cooldown, there wasn't too much that this TGA could have done.
That's really ugly sort of position now for Fade as he's rotated mid and he's just kind of stuck there. He might spot out X-Nova. He should, as he was getting a D-ward out. Bot lane, however, XXS may be in trouble. Somnus does make the rotate, connects the Aether Remnant, doesn't really have any help nearby, so I don't think he finishes off this this kill. But Cookie does land from Baboka, still a massive Icarus dive from X-Nova. connecting on 3. And Somnus will be able to walk out of there safe and sound.
He just keeps impressing me, Xnova, not just with his plays, you know, hitting multiple people, Icarus dives there, not doing the most damage, but they don't know that. They don't know that it's only going to be level 1 in the heat of battle. And yeah, making sure the rest of his team's going to survive, being there to take the runes at the appropriate times. Just does everything. They got Chrono available.
They do. And they use it mid lane. Straight away on to Chuan. Baboka does go down on the Snapfire, and it looks like this Void Spirit not going to last too long, or rather the TA. Somnus did go too far though, and he really doesn't last too long, and now Fade gets a shackle off, but FY, he found an Impale, and Mars is coming in, but it's too late. XXS, he throws the arena, but what are you going to get out of this? He finds the Underlord, but the bash is coming out from Chalice, and Old 11, he mans up, stands right in front of him, says hit me, and it will not work out for the Mars XXS. He does go down, and now Fade being burnt alive by the sun, and Chalice of course gets a first hit bash. Can he find a secondary? Well, he won't need it. He's got almost a guaranteed bash in FY, or maybe he doesn't. No, he definitely does.
Yeah, I'm happy. Xnova got it. Give it to him. MVP so far this game, Xnova. He's just enabling this aggression so deeply. If you have a look at the vision game that Radiant have as well, it's just perfect. It's nothing complicated, but you're playing with a Void, right? You need to be playing on your side of the map. He needs to be protecting the Void. Void hasn't died yet because of this, because of the team fights, because of the vision that he has. And in the previous game, it's not just like that's his standard warding pattern. He was very aggressive with the previous game, where they had a much more active lineup with the Phantom Lancer. So I'm just loving this overall gameplay coming through from POS 5.
I believe that those were also the comments made at after TI8, right? Like Xnova just had the best warding in the whole of TI back then. And it just seems as though it hasn't really changed too much. He's just been warding really well, and just he knows the spots. He knows what to do.
Yep.
We do hit that 9-minute mark now. Slight net worth lead for LGD. You look over to Chalice. He's got a nice little broom handle in his stash, going to be on the way soon, and he is going to build into the Mask of Madness. Meanwhile, SCCC is trying to go after an armlet, which, you know, I thought that item was kind of garbage now.
The armlet?
Yes.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's okay. I suppose they're wanting to brawl really early on.
Radiant structures are fortified.
We won't even have it, but he'll go for a smoke. Old 11 actually ends up finding Baboka. And, oh, they're still going to go for this. Wraith Fire Blast will land, but he got the Time Walk off. They'll go after Somnus. Arena is there. This will be a huge kill coming out. Okay, the rotation does work out in their favor. As Old 11 now going to be in a bit of trouble. He's going to try and juke this one out, but how? He's such a big boy. Icarus Dive going to be there. Now the Sunrain FY. He's sneaking behind, but Fade, he had the vision. He has a sentry on top of the cliff. And there's 5 heroes down here from the side of Aster, but they do find themselves 2 great pickoffs. Yeah,
nicely done by them. They didn't have to expend the Chronosphere. Very important for that team fight. And you can see now Chalice, as these heroes are starting to respawn, they're going to make something happen.
Oh, they got Xnova in the shackles though. When Icarus dive, in fact, he doesn't have it. Old 11 is going to go down. And Chalice, looking at Baboka. But looks like he won't get anything out of this Chrono. Won't be able to use it. Aster do find the T1.
Some good Delta splits happening there from Aster, making sure that there wasn't any 2-man Chrono opportunities.
Well, there it is. Chrono comes out. Spear out of the Chrono, but Baboka should still die. Now the Aetherium coming from Somnus. He does catch XXS, and wow, what a step coming out. He connects back onto the SCCC, and it looks like this Wraith King will at least lose 1 life. Maybe even 2. They do kill him off. Fade, he has the Serpent Wards. Wraith Fire Blast, but oh, he does! Okay, Egg also being committed by Xnova to be fair, but they are going to lose that Wraith King, and now Fade, he avoids the Egg stun, but Icarus dive forward, and Chalice has the bashes once again.
Man, I don't know about that. The wards don't hit the Egg, and now you've just given them a ton of farm, you've used a big cooldown. I don't know. You just had to get out.
He actually denied one of those Serpent Wards off?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. I didn't even think about that. But, I mean, regardless, though, your point still stands. Like, it was a complete waste throwing him down in the first place. Not going to pan out very well for the side of Aster. You kind of give that an initial kill onto FY and Somnus. It kind of goes back now the way of LGD. So you did find SCCC, Baboka, and Fade. I mean, I thought it was kind of shocking that Aster did want to fight without the armlet up on SCCC yet. They did secure the T1, but maybe that secondary team fight wasn't really quite necessary.
Yeah, you knew the Void was in the area just because of the Snapfire trying to run away, so you can't just be sticking around, especially when they didn't have the vision themselves to be able to take the appropriate team fight.
Now we see a smoke. PSG.LGD, they do go through the Dire jungle. They are looping
Armlet finished up.
Tower is under attack.
They're having to
Great
join
timing.
up with SCCC because he doesn't have the TP himself, so you got to come to your POS 1.
They won't find anything, but FY, he spots out XXS.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
No sentries around FY. He is perfectly clear to walk around however he wishes, but they won't make the jump.
Dire's structures
FY will just keep up the vision.
That's the thing, you know, you've got the roaming observer ward in FY that's just giving so much information to the rest of his team who's playing a bit more passive. You can see Chalice here, he's able to farm in this jungle because of all this attention that they're giving. And, well, talk about the vision, but X-Nova, he's done it again. Some really deep wards placed into the Dire jungle, and it was using a smoke. You don't always have to go for the gank with a smoke. It's so viable to get that early vision advantage.
8th Remnant mid lane. Somnus does get caught out, or XXS I should say gets caught out, but they won't be able to really lead up with the Remnant. So Old 11, he'll just start hitting the tower. He's a very tanky Underlord right now. Does get Serpent Warded and the Spear and the Cookie, none of it being chained. It will not matter. It will be damage enough, though Somnus may find Fade. In fact, he doesn't. But now the Chronos Chalice, he only found one. But he does secure the kill, to be fair. Chalice now needs a time walk out of that arena, and does Somnus. How do you get out? He doesn't have Astral Step. And they do both go down.
Yeah. And that's what we were talking about in the pre-game, you know. It feels like if they're able to execute these team fights effectively, LGD are going to win them. But overall, like if you're just running faces at faces and hoping for the best, that's where Aster's really trying to shine.
Dark Rift coming into that tier 1. They want to defend this with everything they've got. Icarus Dive and Egg all being dropped. Old 11 immediately hexed up, but he does get a huge Pit of Malice, and now the Impale lands on 2. It'll allow the Egg follow-up. SCCC gonna lose his first life. Can they find him a second time? His team is still by him, but Chalice jumps straight on that Wraith King. They really want this kill. Can they really find him? Well, the rest of his team's kind of just backing out, so yeah, they can. And now Somnus, he just keeps going more aggressive. He wants more.
Yeah,
8th Remnant available.
team fight.
Middle tower is under attack.
He
Throws
can
one
do
out.
this. He doesn't do a ton of tower damage
Oh.
himself, so he can be the one that follows up.
XXS runs into the Remnant and then gets cookied forward. And if they get a bash, he's dead. In fact, never mind. Somnus has the control. And XXS is now getting... Yeah, he's getting bashed to death, Danok. It doesn't feel good.
Those bashes. Did you ever watch Fist of the North Star when you were a kid? With,
No.
what's his name? Oh, it's I'm not sure if you've seen the meme on YouTube, but it's the guy that's like, ah, da, 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 like that one where he's just spamming the punches. That's what it's like. It's like, you're already dead. That meme.
I haven't seen it, but you know what? Just link me later. It sounds pretty funny.
Alright, expand your horizons. There we go.
Speaking of expanding horizons, Danog, XXS doesn't have a neutral item.
That's not expanding, that's contracting.
Radiant are scanning.
Oh boy, boy, boy. It's not good news. Well, it's still early. It's still early. We'll give him a chance. Tier 2 items are coming up. He's going to get one. He's just waiting for the right one.
Oh, okay, he's got the vampire fangs.
Oh, good.
That's actually a really nice item for him as well. You're able to stand and brawl a lot easier in these team fights. I'm liking it.
I do as well. X-Nova gonna hang around that Dire jungle. Just, I guess he feels safe. He's got Icarus dive. He'll be fine. He will just back off in the end. LGD being very passive about their positioning right now. Like bot lane, they're just hiding in the tree line, really sticking to their side of the map apart from X-Nova, who's now being completely surrounded. He will Icarus dive. Can he get out? Sunray TP. Cookie, though, is going to be perfect. But Boca with the angles, and they do get the kill in the end.
That's the downside of staying to farm a little bit. You know, he probably would have got away if he didn't have to step back and grab up that clumsy net, but it's such a value item that you can't be letting it fall into Aster's hands.
And he does make space, right? Because LGD now, they start getting out of their tree line and actually go back into their jungle a little bit. So, not all is lost.
Is this being delivered to Old 11? Because that is a ton of root if you're able to, get it all together. So you've got the Pit of Malice, which he's already got 3 points into, sorry. And then you just combo it together with the net as well. If they catch someone like a TA, for example, they are not moving.
It's always good when you get that net, right? Because usually you'll see these Underlords, they get Rod of Atos to really get those chain roots off. And well, now you don't need to invest in that. You can just net them and get another Pit of Malice proc going on. Old 11 going to run through the tree line now, being very sneaky. FY and Chalice going to follow the leader. Poor XXS has no idea what is happening right now, and FY loops in from behind. Chalice, Aether Remnant connects from Somnus. XXS disappears.
There's some of that value. They're trying to get a return kill before they can try and take Roche, but no, they can't find it. They've got to just try and commit. They're giving up this tier 1 tower at the bot lane. They're committing everything here. Mass Serpent Ward's dropped as well.
Well, this is a pretty nice play. Like, if you can find that Roshan for that tier 1 tower, you're more than happy. If you're Aster right now, and LGD, they aren't going to make it in time. It will go down. Aegis will go to the way of Twan on the TA, and Aster, I think they're going to be okay.
He'll survive. He's getting much closer to that Desolator. I think he's got it now, yeah. So Blink Deso before 20 minutes, which means that he's ready to contest these runes if he needs to. They might feel a little anxious about it, considering they don't have the Mass Serpent Wards, and it's such a great spell when you can just drop it down where you know the enemy team is going to be contesting at a certain period of time.
It certainly is. Of course, with this Deso up on Twan now, do you just smoke and rotate now as Aster? Like, it feels like this is the timing. Like, they may have a chance to fight right now. Old 11 gets a clumsy net off. They want to go after Baboka. And Aster just not in a position to try and save their support Snapfire. They'll just let him die.
Yeah. Kill secured by FY as well, and with good reason. He's only 80 gold away from finishing up that Meteor Hammer, so with all that lockdown potential with the Pit of Malice and the clumsy net, that's Meteor Hammer's going to come in clutch.
Remember Meteor Hammer was just a meme?
Meme Hammer?
Yeah. Do you remember that? Like, now it's actually a useful item, but when it first came out, it was just considered absolute garbage.
I remember people trying to make, like, position 4 Invoker, Meteor, Quaswex build work, and I mean, if it came off, it looked really nice, but it very rarely came off.
PSG.LGD gonna go now for the bottom tier 2 tower. And they're gonna find it very, very easily. Old 11 is hitting like an absolute truck on that Underlord. And Dark Rift time. Jump in, boys. We're going down top. FY he'll walk.
He needs the exercise. He hasn't been out today.
I don't know if this is called exercise, Danogi. Gets caught out. Spear. And he is almost certainly just dead. And Chuan, that's a lot of damage coming out with that Meld Strike.
Does tanking up that that gank, Meteor Hammer. Don't know if they would have seen it if it was revealed. And, such a value item to give a Nyx as well, the Philosopher's Stone. Your right click is not what you're there for, so the downsides really aren't that impactful for you.
And I love the item build-up as well from FY. Like, he's going for an Aghanim Scepter after a Ghost Scepter. It may not reach that point of the game, but that Nyx Assassin Ags is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, you just need to avoid getting burst down by the team. Are they going to contest this on the bottom side with the Faceless Void? He's got Chrono, he's got BKB, but no, they're going to go for a smoke instead.
Let's do it. Fade, S-Triple-C. They should be able to break this smoke. In fact, no, there's going to be a loop around now for LGD. FY going to be out to try and scout this out. And they see S-Triple-C.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Chalice going to show himself. Malice going to be there on XXS. They would love to take the Mars down first, but you want that huge Chrono, and Somnus says, no, let's go right now. Ult 11, pops BKB, and now the Chrono comes out. It's Chrono while BKB's up on the Unlord, but who cares about
Hex.
that? They do find XXS, and yeah, now the Hex. It doesn't really matter though. Fade does go down, but he will get X Nova at least to trade. Now FY trying to run away. He also drops Arena, but Spear completely whiffed. Ult 11 still dropping regardless, and does go. There's now Chalice going to get caught out, and looks like he'll be the 4th death, or maybe not. Time walk away, but it's not good enough. They do get the kill.
It's an alright Chronosphere, but it just shows you that strength of the Shadow Shaman. Getting the instant Hex up onto the diving through Phoenix means that all that extra damage doesn't act as the pseudo taunt. You can just completely forget about the heals coming through from X-Nova.
Now Aster with a huge opening. They've got a lineup that can take towers relatively quick, and that is exactly what they're going to try and do. Fortify will be forced out here. X-Nova pulls the creep wave himself. They're going to try and defend this tier 3. Yeah, they're going. They don't want to wait. Meteor Hammer coming in onto XXS. Somnus going to astral step forward. XXS in a bit of trouble right now. He's burning to that Sun Ray and does eventually die. Somnus will astral step back. Chuan, he's out of mana though. He needs to get out of there as the egg does now pop. And it is going all the way as nobody's going to be there to hit it. Chuan will lose the Aegis.
Is the Pit of Malice going to go?
It will. Sunray there as well. Chuan cookied forward. Is it going to be enough? It will be, but Icarus dive through too, and yeah, it won't be enough in the end. But Boca, he's pretty low, but it looks like they want to go after S-Triple-C instead on the Wraith King, who does get the trade on X-Nova, but he's going to pray not to get bashed right now, and he doesn't. Chalice gets extremely unlucky. And he cries.
I wasn't watching it at the time, but I hope that for LGD's sake, they didn't have the clumsy net available.
No, they didn't. They did not. Chalice got left behind. That's not nice.
He's just farming, you know? He's having a great time.
Old 11 didn't want him to come anyway. He might pay for this farm.
It's just insane team fight right now from LGD, the way they're going about it. Syncing everything together perfectly. You might think they're diving a little bit too far, but they know the level of restraint. They can play around each other, although...
Chalice hexed up. Shackle's there. S-Triple-C will have the follow-up stun, and now the Mortimer's Kisses. It is raining fire. And, I mean, they left him behind to farm, but he does pay for it with his life.
Is that the first Mortimer's Kisses we've really seen?
Yes.
I mean, it's a good first use.
There was one more, but it wasn't really that effective, so I don't know if you'd really consider it. It was the second at least. Mid lane, there is going to be a bit of a loop around here from FY again. Trying to get vision for his team. But Boca, going to be a nice easy pick-off for them if they do wish to get it. And it looks like FY says, yes, I definitely want it. Meteor Hammer going to fly out. And, well, they are going to loop around and just secure the kill. No, FY may go down in the process as Fade with those Spider Legs getting in range for the Hex. They do get the Nyx Assassin. Now Arena only catching Old 11 and he just BKBs up. He could run through the Arena. And he does, just to show he can. Aster won't be able to find anything further.
Man, all these supports, and it's clear why. Really love these Spider Legs. You could see there after getting the pick off and finishing the kill onto FY's Nyx. Just moving up onto the high ground using the movement there. Has he got the cast range as well? No, not yet. So not level 15 yet on this Shadow Shaman, but Aether Lens doing a ton of work for Fade here. one of those few heroes that really does enjoy finishing up all of his abilities before actually going into the talents.
Yeah, I mean the level 10 talent really they're not the greatest options, right? Like 200 health or 10% spell amp, like it's like whatever. You'd rather just your skills are so much more value.
The health's alright, especially against something like a Void Spirit that's wanting to dive deep onto you, so being able to survive that extra second that might be the difference between getting a Hex off, even if you still die, it enables the rest of your team to make much more of an impact there. He's got the Blink Dagger as well, so here's another form of initiation of Aster's that LGD might get caught off by.
You know, speaking of the Void Spirit, by the way, did we talk about Somnus having an Ags up?
Ooh,
Yeah, he has an Ags up.
not quite level 18 though. Wants to try and soak up this creep wave as much as he can. It's not going to be enough though. Oh, and the DD.
Oh my. That is very exciting. Chalice gonna take it, bottle it up for himself. Pit of Malice, XXS getting caught out with the clumsy net as well, just really locking him down. And he melts.
I mean, he melts. That was a lot of spells being used on him though, when he's completely on his own without being able to pop the pipe.
That is
And
true.
double damage.
That's fair enough.
Dire's middle
They'll find the final outer tower, LGD. There'll be a smoke in the back. Somnus will go with both his supports, trying to find somebody else. They know SCCC's around here somewhere. In fact, no, SCCC did TP out. Instead, they're going to go up top, where they may find Fade on that Shadow Shaman. We also see a TP back from Chalice to defend that top tier 2 tower. And, well, this smoke's actually going to lead to nothing. They won't actually find a hero. Best they can do is take an outpost.
Until Chalice really loves this, he's like, "You're doing great, lads. Keep scouting them out. I'm just gonna farm."
Classic pos one. Picks up the Maelstrom now. So he wants a butterfly up next, and I guess once that butterfly is up, the damage output really starts to go a little bit insane. You do have the Silver Edge now in SCCC, however, which I've got to say is a pretty interesting item to try and go for. I guess for the Underlord, is that what he's gotten that for?
Seems reasonable to me. I mean, just to be able to stop a lot of what X-Nova's trying to do as well, and, making his team survive through a lot. Void as well, it cuts his regen from the jump.
Oh, smoke rotation.
Bounty rune.
SCCC. Sentry Ward has been dropped. He runs back in. This could be dangerous. He does have his ultimate available as well as a BKB and does pop the BKB, but he's getting bashed by Chalice again. Still, Serpent Ward's to be dropped on the stairs. SCCC so close to dying, but he will not die. Chalice drops the Chrono. They just love taking down XXS. Remnants there as well, but now with that Chrono down, maybe you just go for the fight. Still, you are missing a Mars, but they're going on Old 11. The poor Underlord will get bursted down eventually. Now the egg to drop. It is going to be able to pop all the way as nobody's attacking it. Chuan, he will be able to get Chalice, however. The 3-man stun from the egg, but can you find anyone out of that? The Pit of Malice comes in, and now with the Sunray, they burn him down. And SCCC should definitely die a second time. They did buy back on the TA, and in fact, he'll turn around. X-Nova, he will lose his life. And that buyback on the TA will save SCCC from dying that second time.
And how often is it that you see Tier 1 Dota like this and they just don't have a... Oh, I didn't even realize Chuan's just sitting there in the Roche pit.
Just quietly. Chilling out. Oh, Old 11, no. Not now, Old 11. Oh, he pops the BKB. Yeah, dieback, BKB wasted. And a Roshan.
With cheese.
Cheese is good. Can you go for a snipe here? Somnus, he's thinking about it.
I wonder if they're going to notice this on Aster's side. Sorry, on LGD's side. Hasn't gone for the no mana cost for the level 20 talent. It's CCC.
Oh. I suppose he could afford to do this? 900 mana pool, there's no diffusal.
Yeah, but could that lead them to maybe start building into it? They don't really have the heroes for it, I suppose. but maybe just saying, Nyx, make sure you focus on the Wraith King.
I think that might be the way to go. But will they notice? That's a completely different question in and of its own. Aster may not give them that chance, as they are starting to force down the last outer tower for LGD now. And that'll be that mid-tier 2 going down. And suddenly Aster back into the driver's seat, and well, that net worth graph has been really up and down this game. In fact, we should have a look at the win probability as well. And that has also been very up and down. Currently 63% the way of Aster.
I'm just thinking, they're going double Shiva's Guard right now on LGD, on both the Phoenix and the Void Spirit. I feel like that's...
Pad waste.
Is that deliberate?
I mean, surely not. Doesn't seem like you're getting much value out of that, but I guess you could slow them for a very long time. The active isn't that great, is it?
I mean, a lot of their damage is based around being able to hold Aster in one position. You know, obviously the Firestorm is something that scales really well going into the late game with its percentage-based damage. Same thing with the Phoenix, the Sunray. Wouldn't be surprised if X-Nova's right up towards the top in terms of damage done. It's a heavy commitment, that's for sure.
I agree. Aster, they are going to move in now. There is one, so they are going to fight into this new Shiva's Guard of X-Nova. Or maybe they won't. Like, the smoke doesn't look like it's going to really lead to anything. SCCC seems to agree as well. He just starts farming.
How the buyback's looking as well. It's basically support central, except for Chalice.
Chalice, being responsible with his money. Just saving that up.
Popping into Dolomite's account.
That brings back some memories. Oh. We do see XXS as well. He does have a BKB up now on Mars, so a bit more protection for him.
He's taunting me. He's got his neutral item in his backpack. Understandable,
no,
because it decreases the attack speed. So that's fine if you're doing neutrals, but you better not take a team fight with this there.
Very rude of XXS.
Oh, that's super deadly, going the AC now on SCCC. So this heavy physical damage lineup is going to become even more powerful. I thought maybe on Somnus, considering after he finished up that plate mail, might have gone into an AC of their own just for a protection style, but I suppose they're just trying to burst him down. Can't really be playing on the back foot all that much.
No. Still, Aster, they've got to find the team fight. They still haven't really found anyone to pick off, but it looks like they are going to make their way up top where they know Old 11 and Chalice are going to be. This could be huge for Aster if they do jump in with Fade. Hex is there. Dark Rift immediately comes out from Old 11. See you later. Close
5
call.
stars.
5 stars indeed. Chalice, I mean, it does really pay off having the Unlord just wait around, just ensuring you don't die like that.
That's the thing as well. It wasn't like Old 11 was in the trees. He was in the lane. So if he went down, he had no buyback for 2 minutes.
Yeah, that would be a huge problem. See again.
10 seconds left on this Aegis. And despite that, now is when Aster start to move forward.
It's pretty off timing from Aster. They will find nothing out of this Aegis.
They will find, though, is time. And Chuan has missed that creep wave, not wanting to intercept it just yet. Going to take the next one, but he's getting very close to his level 25, and that meld bash is going to be really impactful. I don't think you can afford to go the refraction charges just because they're going to get burnt anyway. They've got so many instances of little tiny bits of damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at all these skeletons that are just converging on these poor golems.
It's a very balanced ability, these Wraith King skeletons. I love that they're automated as well, so they just go farm the jungle for you. Like, you don't even have to move them.
Now they just march down the mid lane to their death.
Off we go, boys. Gotta die sometime. FY will
Look at him, he's panicking a little bit. What do I do?
LGD, could they go for a team fight? Aegis isn't up. Yeah, they definitely could. They've got the Chrono available as well as the egg. And Butterfly is now up, but Chalice has not saved for buyback.
Alright, here we go. Melted Bash.
They jump in.
Round him out.
Get a Malice. It's a huge kill onto SCCC, but that's only one life. Wraithfire Blast flying out. Now Chalice pops the BKB, goes for the Chrono. He just wants to secure this kill straight away. Still no egg being thrown out, but does finally come out. Now Cheese being eaten by SCCC, and they do focus down the egg. With all these BKBs, they couldn't stop it from happening. Dark Rift from Old 11, but who are you taking with you? He'll cancel it off at the last second. They really want that kill on the Wraith King, and they do find it. But Chalice, he's been hexed up. He can't afford to die like this. How do they get him out? They will time walk for now, as Chuan, he's in trouble. He does get cookied forward, but he's still going down, and he will die. Chalice comes back in, healing up with that Mask of Madness. He'll find Fade, he'll find Baboka on the Snapfire, and he does go down as XXS is the last man standing, but not for long. And LGD just continually take these team fights that give you a mini heart attack when you see the health bars of their players, but they always seem to come out on top.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about that egg, it's like a pseudo taunt. You just force the entire enemy team to pop their BKBs, to focus it, and then suddenly, what have they got to contest a lot of this damage that's coming out, particularly from the Underlord? But Somnus, his impact can't be discounted as well.
Definitely can't.
Radiant structures are fortified.
They'll wait out the fort, they'll glyph their own creeps, and now force out the buyback from SCCC and XXS. But that won't be enough. Chalice. Oh, here it is, the repair kit. Of course it comes out.
So he's gone the backtrack as well on this Faceless Void, so thinking luck's going to be on his side this game.
Ah, good old Dota 1 days.
I mean, how much percentage now is there on this Void? He's got the backtrack, he's got the bash, he's got the Maelstrom, he's got the evasion on the Butterfly.
That is a lot of, he's basically a walking casino right now, Chalice is. He's just, will the house win this time though? That's the real question here. Chalice is the house. Somnus as well. Definitely going to win by finding that double damage to bottle up, but did he not find it? No, he didn't pick it up.
11 is really deep. He was just farming the skeletons pretty close to where all these Aster heroes are bunched up, but not punishing it, maybe feeling a little afraid, saying, surely he can't be this silly.
It's just, he's a tanky guy, he just doesn't care. Even if you did find him, like, worst case scenario, he BKBs and TPs out with Dark Rift, right? And, whoa, he's got the Aghanim Scepter. That's cool.
So that Atrophy Aura really doing the Void a lot of work.
Yeah. So half his damage, right? Half his
Atrophiness. Ag Scepter sitting on Roshan. Courier blown up by SCCC.
Nice.
Oh, they're on the retreat.
LGD, they wanted to take that team fight. Who do you give the Ags to? If you're LGD. Oh, maybe
Yeah.
FY.
Yeah. It's alright.
He's pretty close though to his own Ags. Maybe X Nova?
I mean, it's not terrible on this Void either. You just zip through team fights and get all those massive bashes off.
I forgot that's what it does for the Void now. It's a real silly ability, that Aghanim Scepter on the Void. They will get started on the Roshan. Aster, they need to try and come and counter this. They definitely can't allow this to go down. Eighth Remnant going to connect on to SCCC, and again they will get started. Serpent Wards have been dropped by Fade, but you've already lost one life. You need to jump in, Chrono, but X-Nova, that's not the greatest Icarus dive, and now they start to melt. Chalice and X-Nova both die. Old 11 asking where his passengers went. They're gone. They made a runner. And now Aster will try and clean up this Roshan, but FY. He's going to slow this down with a Meteor Hammer, but it won't be enough. No one's picked up the Aegis yet.
If he had a Blink Dagger, he probably would have gone for that, considering he had the spider legs.
Oh, I think he may have gone for it if the spider legs were just off cooldown. He just didn't have them available at the time. And bit unfortunate, but great play from Aster. And I mean, I say great play from Aster, but it looks like X-Nova kind of just screwed up his dive.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Maybe just not realizing that the Chrono was going to come then. If you're mid-dive, there's not really too much you can do about it. Alright, so we've got an Ag Scepter on the Wraith King.
Oh, so now, yeah, right. So now your whole team respawns basically as a ghost, right? As a Wraith after you die.
For
Fantastic.
7 seconds, and if you're a TA, you don't mind that. You're still doing a decent amount of damage.
100%. That's going to be really frustrating to deal with if you're LGD.
I don't know what the interaction actually is with the Wraith King Ags and the Aegis. Like, do you get it twice after you die each time?
Surely not. He doesn't have the
you
Aegis
could.
anyway.
Well, when you think about it, right, the Wraith King AoE Wraithfire Blast on death happens each time. Aegis with your own ultimate, so maybe this does as well.
Well, unfortunately for us, SCCC didn't take the Aegis. But I guess we'll find out with Chuan anyway.
Yeah.
If it does proc, which is... It just sounds so silly. But it would be very nice if that was the case. Still, LGD now find themselves on the back foot, just hiding in their base. They have Chrono up in 25 seconds. But I have a feeling they're just going to wait on the high ground and try to just engage on Aster when they try to make this push happen.
You can tell X-Nova's feeling a little antsy. He wants that level 18 so that he's not getting quickly burst down whenever he pops that egg.
It is important.
You always have to be so mindful of your positioning, though, up against a Snapfire. That's just, like, a ton of attacks, just straight into it, and there's not really too much you can do about it.
Still, Aster, they're taking their time. Like, they're just controlling the map for now. I suppose SCCC is not really that big in terms... Well, he kind of is in terms of net worth, but he still has space to grow. Somewhat.
I mean, there's nothing really that LGD can do right now. If you have a look at each team's vision, they've got one high ground spot from LGD, but as for Aster, they've got vision all around, so they're just going to snare up the bounty runes. They know that they're corralled in the base. All they need to be mindful of are these smokes that are coming through, so you'll probably see these Aster supports maybe staying around these high ground, like the top of the stairs, those sorts of areas, to try and get away in case they were to go for some sort of offensive play on LGD.
LGD has left the base now, and well, Somnus, he's sitting underneath one of those observer wards you talked about. Mid lane, Pit of Malice going to be there on XXS, but a smoke from Aster. This could be a huge deal for them as they get the Hex up on Somnus right underneath the ward. Now the silence as well. He's in big trouble. He's dead. And Old 11 going to get the Dark Rift off, and Chalice just going to be forced to try and run by himself. Pops his own BKB. TP's away, but they got the Hex in time. It was only a 5-second BKB charge. Chalice has buyback. Somnus does not.
And that's the thing as well, you need to be so careful about, you know, you might think, oh, just PKB, TP away, but you've got that meld bash now, so if Chian's anywhere close to the relative area, you're just done for.
Aster. The ball is finally in their court. They look
And
towards
the
that
DD.
mid lane. Oh, they've got a DD as well, do they? Oh, they do.
Isn't that nice?
It is.
kind of wasted repair kit in mid as well, considering they can just rotate down to this bottom side. They might even just go top now. Dodge it as much as they can.
Aster? Yeah, they are. Or maybe not. What's the decision
At least
here?
keeping the pressure up here by Baboko. Making those siege wagons start hitting into it. Yeah. This is the play.
Very hard position here for LGD. Like, do you buy back on the Void? Or do you just let it go down and wait for Somnus? Well, Somnus needs 15 seconds, so there's the buyback coming out. Sunray is there to make sure that FY stays alive.
Aegis is gone as well.
Ags is finished on FY, so he does have the burrow available, and he's starting to move forward. See if he can find a pick-off and punish for this Rax being taken, this XXS.
Doesn't have buyback though, so to be going up onto that high ground, even with the spike characters being popped, it's a risky proposition.
Aster right now. They take a nice arcane rune on Fade. They're going to start moving in again. They want to go for another team fight.
I think this is it. This is the one that's going to decide the game.
Aster got the low ground right now. We haven't seen too big of a chrono this game. Chalice, if you could land a huge chrono, could make all the difference right now in XXS. Thinking about running up, but FY is waiting. Does come out of the burrow. Burrows again, but they saw him doing it. Aetherman is there in XXS. He does spear the burrow, but here we go. They jump in. Egg has been dropped. FY dies. Can they find the egg in time? SCCC trying to go for it, but the Aether Remnant will cancel it off. He can't auto-attack anymore. XXS, meanwhile, barely surviving with the cheese. He does just eat it straight away, and now LGD. They're falling apart. They haven't got the abilities any longer. They're still trying. They've got to buy back ASAP on all their heroes, but Chalice doesn't have one. Now Fade getting Somnus with those shackles. They have the stuns to come out from Aster. Somnus, how do you get out of this? He does dissimulate for now. Astral Step is very nice. Old 11 meanwhile does find Fade. He'll buy back immediately. XXS still trying to chase down Somnus. Fade meanwhile looping around from the outpost. Does get on top of the cliff,
Fade.
it does get stuck, but a great position with that vision. He should be able to just take down Somnus, and they do. No buyback available on either core. And this game appears to be over. I don't see how you could possibly defend now as LGD.
Yeah, maybe just seeing if they're going to go straight throne, and it should be GG called. Yeah.
There it is. Aster, they do pull off the second game victory. And luckily for us, that does force it to a game number 3.
That's what we like to see, boys. 50 minutes dead on as well. Good timing.
Very nice timing indeed. Still, I wasn't, I thought LGD really had that for most of the game, but SCCC, he farmed up very well. You mentioned the plays coming out from Fade on the Shadow Shaman were very, very nice, and just a couple of misplayed fights from PSG.LGD, and suddenly they just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, it's just a bit harder to play, basically, this LGD lineup. Like, when it came off, it looked amazing. But when you make even the smallest mistakes, it starts to unravel a little bit. And then when you do that play, diving with the Phoenix into a Chronosphere, you got nothing. You're not contributing anything to that team fight.
Well, with that, Danog, we do have to get into the next lobby. It is MLP Dota and Danog Dota, and we'll be back in hopefully 5 to 10 minutes for that second game. Shouldn't be too long.